Hi everybody, today I'm going to show you how to make shrink charms from number 6 plastic. And number 6 plastic is usually something that you see on the lids of takeout containers. It's also known as styrofoam. In this case, it's the clear plastic. PS polystyrene is another name. And this is something that can't usually go in your recycling stream because it is something that is kind of expensive for most recyclers to process. It takes a high level of heat to make it melt. It's also usually used on smaller objects that kind of fall through the cracks of the recycling process. So rather than putting it in your recycling, this is a really good alternative. So again, number 6, polystyrene. So when you put these in the oven, again at a high heat, they're going to shrink down. So I have an example of one that I've made before. And this is something that you only need a few tools to make. So obviously a pair of scissors so you can cut anything out, a way to color, doesn't really matter what kind of marker you have, and then if the charm is something that you want to put a hole in, then a hole punch is good. You need to do the cutting and the hole punch first, because if you look at this piece, this is one that actually had the hole punch. Let me show you. And it shrinks down as well, and it gets kind of thick once you've processed it. So you really can't manipulate it once you're done heating this product. So I've set my oven, or my toaster oven, to 350. And when you have larger pieces, you might want to be ready to uncurl those pieces, because they're going to fold in on themselves as the process goes on, and they might need a little help at the end. And then I also just made a smaller piece, again cutting it. Sometimes it's good to color on both sides, because that way you get a more vivid color. So this process is something that only needs a little bit of time. It's not going to take a long time, but you'll know when they're done when they've started to lie flat again. So usually a couple minutes. If we look at it now, we can see that it's really curled up on itself. So it's getting to the point where hopefully it should start to relax soon. I'm looking at the feet of the bird. And once it starts to relax, that's when I'm going to pull this piece out of the toaster oven and gently press down the edges if they're curled. So I've pulled the pieces out of the toaster oven, and you might want to let them sit for a little bit of time just to make sure they are cool enough for you to pick up. But you can see, we talked about that edge, let me see if I can get that to focus, the thickness that we would expect, and a much smaller piece now. Pretty pleased with how these turned out. Sometimes they will get stuck to themselves, and you want to make sure at those points that you have a way, again, to flatten them. It might be good to have something with a little bit of weight to set on top of them, so that way you can have them really stop curling at the edges. So these are the ones that I made just now, and then one from the other day. This one's a little rippled, like I was talking about. But all in all, a good craft, a good way to make use of things that you might have accumulated in this time as you've been maybe ordering takeout to help your local restaurants, and a pretty cool way to add to other craft projects you might be making. Thanks everybody for watching.